Hey guys, welcome to what is officially week 90 here on theReelDVDWatchers. On Wednesdays, it's me, Tom, and the movie that I've chosen to review today is something that I absolutely love. It speaks to the comic book freaking all of us, and pretty much last April everyone was talking about it and everyone was reading the comic, because it really was that good, because it instilled you, if you ever read a comic book, about what it's like to be a superhero, and it actually does a pretty good portrayal in today's society. So the movie in question I've chosen to review is Kick-Ass, directed by, of course, Matthew Vaughn, and starring Aaron Johnson, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Mark Strong, Chloe Grace Moretz, and of course Nick Cage. Basically what's going on in this one is about this guy named Dave, who is pretty much your typical, I'm going to say around 16, 17-year-old. And, you know, he reads comics. He only really has, like, two other best friends. He loves this beautiful girl, except, of course, doesn't notice them. So Dave and his friends, so one day, you know, they're at this comic book shop, and Dave's always like, why hasn't anyone done this? Why hasn't anyone ever tried to be a superhero? And his friends are like, dude, they get their ass kicked, like, daily. So Dave decides, fuck it, because he's just like, there are things in this town that go on, and no one puts a stop to them. So Dave goes about getting himself a costume, and he calls himself Kick-Ass. And then he posts his picture on the internet and starts a MySpace fan page. And so he just goes out and he tries to, like, help people who really need help. So pretty much the way how he gets discovered is this one day he's just doing patrols rounds trying to find this cat. And in the process of trying to find this cat, this guy runs past him, and he knocks into him, falls over, and that guy is getting the shit kicked out of him by three other dudes. So Kick-Ass being Kick-Ass, you know, is helping this dude out, and eventually gets to the point where, you know, the guy takes out a knife, and he's like, "You're willing to die for this guy?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What you're doing is wrong." He's like, He's like, "You could kill me, but I'd rather die than let you continue to do what you're doing." So that's what happens. Oh, I should also say too, Dave, before got stabbed for trying to stop these two guys who originally mugged him, and then he got hit by a car, so he got damaged nerve endings and a whole bunch of metal plates put into his body. So pretty much he can't feel pain to a certain extent. So pretty much from the internet, Big Daddy and the Hit Girl, which are like this ex-cop and his daughter, who's all maybe 10, and they're like trained killers. Like that's all they ever do is train for battle. You know, train in weapons, train to kill bad guys, quote unquote. And so they see Kick-Ass and they're like, this kid has potential. Let's, you know, talk to him and see what they want to do. So they do, but just what they show him kind of scares Dave a bit, because they are like legit into this. Dave just thought, you know, it'd be like handing over the bad guys to police and stuff like that. They're very, very the comic book way. But no, Big Daddy and Hit Girl showed him that sometimes you have to kill in order to, you know, restore order. So really from there it takes off into like this one guy, Frank D'Amico, played by Mark Strong, who's just like, you know what, these superheroes are screwing me over out of my deals. He thinks Kick-Ass stole coke from his Russian counterparts, so he's pretty much all out getting rid of Kick-Ass, getting rid of Big Daddy, getting rid of Hit Girl, doesn't know how. So his son, played by Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who's McLovin, he's like, well, you know, if you let me be a superhero, I can get him. So he becomes Red Mist, and then there's that whole plot. So I want to talk about really the writing of this movie, because it is superb. Like, yes, like you can just adapt it from Mark Millar's comic, which, you know, they did, and just Mark Millar's writing in anything he's ever done from a comic, it has absolutely been brilliant. Like, if you take like something like, you know, like the Ultimates, or what else has Mark Millar done? Wanted and stuff like that. I mean, it's just absolutely superb writing. Even if the story's not top notch, the writing is. And just really for something a lot like Kick-Ass, you know, if you read the comic too, you know that it's pretty much straight out of there. Except with like some big differences. But you know what, Mark Millar signed off on the differences in the movie, so it has his seal of approval. I want to talk about Nick Cage for a bit, because Nick Cage in this movie is actually really, really good. For the first time in a long time, you know, he's not annoying. He's actually acting in a movie, and it's great to see him act again. Because it really feels like he hasn't acted in a long time, because it's always been Nick Cage playing this character. Difference is, in this movie, he actually creates a character, and actually is a very likable character. So really, for me, I actually really liked Nick Cage in this movie. He plays a really good father father figure, but also a good mentor figure too, if you will. Of course, you know, the person who steals the show, of course, is Chloe as Hit Girl. I mean, she's just hilarious. Where else are you gonna find a 10-year-old that calls a whole bunch of bad guys cunts in a movie? Really, it doesn't get much better than that. The production, the art production of the movie is absolutely superb. It's like they've almost pulled real life comic panels out of the comic. I mean, it's not like Sin City in the way how Sin City, it's like I actually use locations. I actually used Toronto for this film, but it actually feels like they just pulled certain locations out of the comic, and it feels so real and just so true. And like, there's like such tips to the hat, so anyone who's ever read a comic and stuff like that, especially at the beginning, where where Dave's talking about, you know, how he's not doing this, you know, as an epic vendetta, you know, for the sake of like his mother's death. And it shows like him saying the reign over his mother, going, "I will avenge you." He's like, no, it didn't happen like that. But yeah, it's absolutely great. Kick-ass. I'll talk about the Blu-ray quality of this, because I did buy it on Blu-ray. The Blu-ray quality of this movie is very, very good. The opening credits, too, when it's going through the air, look really, really good. It's really crisp and really clean. I have this thing about Blu-rays where I haven't really been noticing a lot of difference, but in this, I actually have noticed some difference over the DVD and the Blu-ray. And this is just packed full of special features too. I haven't watched any of them yet. The reason why I bought Blu-ray is because apparently it had more special features than the DVD. You know, which sucks because Blu-ray shouldn't get all the special features. I mean, yes, it is probably going to take over, but still, give DVD people, you know, same special features too. It's only fair. This could just be me griping, but same hand. So if I had to give Kick-Ass a rating out of 10, it would definitely get like a 9.5. It is an absolutely great movie. It is a stellar fucking comic book movie. Not as good as Sin City, but pretty much like the next step down from Sin City. Because in my eyes, Sin City is the absolute perfect comic book movie. But still, though, Kick-Ass, absolutely great movie. If you haven't seen it yet, please check it out. If you're a fan of comics and haven't checked it out yet, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like the perfect fanboy movie, really, with the exception of Fanboys, because it's called Fanboys. Yeah, but still, definitely check this out. You will be pleasantly surprised by Nick Cage. The acting is just so great. This movie, everyone is committed to the cause of this movie, and also, the cover's not that great, but you get a nice little slipcase with it. So yeah. So that's review for this week, guys. Thanks to everyone who watches and subscribes. As always, you guys rock, and I'll see you in a week's time. I was going to say have a good day, but it's like that makes no sense, Tom. So yeah, so I'll see you in a week's time. Bye, guys.